Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 172. Today is May 22nd, 2024. So your seventh month window is going to be the 11th month window is April 22nd, 2025. And the seventh month window is December 22nd, 2024. So you have 8 or 9 days to decide if you want to make that reservation for Vero Beach to jump in the pool on New Year's Eve.
For the record, this is broker Jason Erpelding from Buy and Sell DVC, and I'm the owner Scott Ferrioli from DVC-Rental.com and BuyandSellDVC.com. You ruined the one little intro I have.
I switched the order.
That's okay. Keep going. Enjoy.
So if you want to make that reservation for Vero Beach, you got 9 days to think about it. I haven't checked the calendar to see if it's available. Hopefully it is. And then we're going to jump into the buy and sell side of things since I messed up the intro there. And basically we asked the question because one thing that people want to know is, how many points should I own? And really there's no, of course it's going to depend on how you vacation, the size of room that you want, the number of nights that you're staying, the resort that you're staying at, because the point charts are different for each resort and of course different for each size room. So we asked the question, I am a DVC owner and I own, and the choices were 50 points or less, 51 to 99 points, 100 to 149 points, 150 to 199 points. And I'm just going to stop there. So between 0 and 199 points, 33% of the people own in that range, which is really, I would actually expect it to be a little bit higher. But that's what I was expecting to be because a lot of people, they own under 199 points because that's going to satisfy their needs however they travel, whether it's once a year or whether it's every other year or every third year. And then between 200 and 249 points, it was 18%, 250 or more, 12%, 300 or more, 15%, 400 or more, 18%, 900 or more, 1%, 1,000 or more, 2%, and 500 or more, 1%. So as you can see, it's, the number of points is all over the board. You don't really want to, the best thing to do when you're looking to become a DVC owner is if you know the resort that you want to stay at, look at the point calculator, plug in your check-in, plug in your checkout date for a vacation that you might do, see how many points it is for that time, and start with that base. And of course, if you own extra points, that's not going to be a problem because you can bank points, you can stay an extra night the next year, you can rent out points with DVC-Rental. So you have all sorts of options, but don't get caught up with comparing yourself to another family. Well, they own this amount of points, we need to own that. It's it's whatever. That's the beauty of Disney Vacation Club. It's completely customizable.
And truthfully, after you travel for 1 year or 2 years, you might realize you need more anyways. I think that's what happens with a lot of people is they buy their first contract, they travel a little bit because odds are they're not going to do the same exact trip every single year. They're going to do different things. And a lot of people they call it add-on-itis because most people get it. You buy your contract and you want to add on at some point because you realize, I want to, instead of just doing studios, I want to go up to the one bedrooms because they're more comfortable, or I want to add an extra trip over Halloween. And again, as Jason said, what's great is the flexibility is that, you can borrow in, you can bank them, or, you can add on at any time and use them all together because every trip is different and you're not like you're locked into one resort. You're able to go to all different resorts and everything has different point values. So, every trip is going to be much different than the one prior. So you never know where you're going to be. But, by looking at the point calculator, that will at least give you a good base value on what you probably should originally own at.
And if let's say you get to 400 points, and if you do it by, buying 150 and then buying another 150 and then buying 100, it also is going to help you because then if you get later on in life where you're not using it as much, you could then strip down. You can say, okay, let's sell this 150 point deed rather than if you had bought a 400 point deed, now it's now or nothing on that 400 point deed. So a lot of times people look back and they say, well, I'm glad we did it this way because it allows you, again, more flexibility to sell off deeds if you want to downsize the number of points that you own. And now we're on to the food review of the week.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
So I've been back from Disneyland for around 2 months so far, and I'm gonna try to pepper in some Walt Disney World foods also, as I still have a lot more from Disneyland. Today's review is the Rapunzel Sundae, which is at Magic Kingdom. It is a shortcake with Dole Whip lemon berry soft serve, topped with berry compote and sugar flowers for $8.29. This was really, really good. My wife got this. She tried one thing, I tried another. I was at Friar's Nook, and she got this. My wife thought this was fantastic and would eat this every single trip. I thought it was refreshing and sweet with nice texture from the shortcake underneath. So it wasn't like it was just eating like a Dole Whip. You had the texture from the shortcake, which was really, really nice. I would definitely get this again. I give it an 8.4. Plus also the presentation on it was really, really nice. It's got nice colors on it. It's bright and purple. I'm sure kids, boy or girl, would absolutely just love the way it looks also. So great option to have, 8.4. Also be nice and refreshing during this.
And where'd you get this at?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I was at Friar's Nook. It's right next, which one is right next to Friar's Nook in Magic Kingdom. I realized on here I didn't have it. I was like, just don't let Jason call me out on it. I forget what's right next to Friar's Nook.
Well, I figure, these people are sitting and waiting for the food review to run off and get it. So we left them hanging today, I guess.
I will
We'll just have to Google the Rapunzel Sundae.
In the notes below on this, I will put exactly where this was from. So I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank right now as I'm sitting here. What's right next to Friar's Nook that had this? Okay. If I yell into the other room, I could possibly find out, but I don't know if I want to do that.
And
you don't know the name? Okay. We're Googling it.
We'll be back with that.
Yeah, we'll be back in that.
Hang on at the end of this episode here. Now we're on to the DVC-rental side of things.
I'm currently going to be leaving in a few weeks to go on a cruise, so I thought this was a good time to talk about my cruise, the cruise swap program, and booking as a travel agent. I'm going to be going on the Norwegian Getaway. We did the Breakaway last year. It's got like 4 stops in Spain, 2 in Portugal, 1 in Gibraltar, and 1 in France. The one it says they call it Paris, but Paris is like 2 hours inbound from there, so it's not like we can get into Paris from there. But what's also really, really cool is that when we're going to be ending in Barcelona. We're then going to fly back over to France, and we're flying to Paris, and we're going to go to Disneyland Paris for 3 nights. So really, really looking forward to that as well. I've been really, really enjoying, since we went to Europe for the first time last year, really, really enjoyed the European cruise. As a travel agent, we can book any cruises for you, in Europe or here, whether it's Disney or Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Celebrity, essentially any cruise line. And we also have the cruise swap program, which means that if you're a DVC member and you want to use your points for a cruise, it's typically, you can only use it for Disney Cruise Line, obviously. You can't use your Disney points to go on Celebrity. But what we do is we can rent out those points for you, because it's such a bad value to use them for a Disney cruise. And Disney cruises are also really, really expensive. So we can rent out your points for you and take the money that we get in cash, you give some of that back to you, or then we can go and we can book the cruise for you. And then any of that money that we use for the cruise line, we don't have to 1099 you for. So it could also help you on your taxes as well. So there's also you've got the flexibility of picking any cruise line that you like, and you also get a tax break if you do the cruise swap program with us. So where is the shop?
Wait, I got to ask a question though. I forget on this.
What was it? That's right, Storybook Treats. Sorry, Storybook Treats is the shop. There we go. Go on.
I forget, did you go on the ropes course on the Breakaway? Did you have the ropes course or no?
No. I think the ropes course was, did they close the rope? I think they might have closed the ropes course.
Is it too windy?
I think they were actually permanently removing it from the Breakaway. I'm not sure
if
it's
going to be on the Getaway or no?
I believe it is. Ropes course is still there, I'm being told as well.
You didn't go on the ropes course?
I did not go on the ropes course.
Did your kids?
They got rid of the mini golf and the rock climbing wall on the Breakaway.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do the ropes course.
Did your kids see it?
I don't think they did. Do you like the ropes course?
Well, I love it because obviously there's a kids one that nobody would qualify for anymore, your family or my family.
No.
And then they have the adult one. So you get to go up there, and then there's I don't know, they have a special name for it, but it's like a plank that goes over the side of the ship. So you can walk out to that plank, and I mean, the views that you get from there are amazing.
And terrifying. We have to walk the plank.
Well, of course, I mean, you're
I know you're strapped in,
attached.
but it's still.
I love I love the ropes course. And then did you go on they have 2 water slides where they're like in a tube.
And they drop.
press-
The
yeah.
floor drops.
Did you go on those?
We did not. We did. Well, here's the thing. Normally on a cruise, there's a lot of time you're spending on the ship or back on the ship.
And then
We were at
paying
ports
while you're
every single day, and when we come back, we were exhausted. So we didn't do a ton of stuff on the ship itself because we'd come back from our excursion.
There's no
It was like one day.
sea day.
It was like one. It was the last year's cruise was an 11-night cruise and had 1 sea day.
Wow.
So there were 10
Is that the
ports.
same thing this time then too? Or?
This is 10 nights, and I believe there's 1 sea day. Yeah, they're jam packed when they do the Europe ones, which is great because you have to check out all these places, but it's not as relaxing, and there's a lot of walking. And honestly, the last time I went, we started in what the heck is it called? In Greece, in Santorini, and they have the donkey steps. And we came down the donkey steps, and it's like a mile and a half down like the steps, and both our knees were killing me for like days. We'd come back from the excursions. It's like we'd rest a little bit. Then it's like dinner time. We go get dinner, come back to the room, and literally, or sometimes we'd go to see a show, and then the rest of the night I would spend in bed with ice bags on my knees, which I've never done in my entire life, because just from the donkey steps, like hurt our knees so badly for days and days after that. So then it was as much relaxing and doing water slides and stuff like that. It was nonstop excursions, and then trying to recoup and try to relax because you knew the next day you had to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to do it all over again. Still loved it.
Because I mean, those, if you plan on doing those, I'd recommend leaving any wedding rings at home because you can't have them on, and then you got to take it off, and sometimes you'll forget it in your room or something.
You can't have a wedding ring on what? On like
when you go down that
ropes
slide.
Really, on the slide?
Yeah.
I've never heard of any slide that made you take off a wedding ring.
I mean, obviously,
what kind
any
of crazy
jewelry on your hand, that's
No, of course, yeah, but like really,
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. It must be a
'Cause it's-
pretty intense slide.
I mean, I think it has to, you just don't want it to get, caught on something, I guess.
No, you don't want that.
Make sure your shorts are tied pretty good.
Yeah, I
So-
can imagine.
But yeah, because I think I went on Getaway, but that was like mine was like
Oh.
2016 probably. So
A little nervous about the Getaway because it's currently going into dry dock, and we're supposed to be the first cruise after it gets out of dry dock. So if there's any delays, I don't know what's gonna happen. It looks like they're gonna be like changing over like a restaurant
Oh, really?
and like doing smaller stuff. So it's not like a big change.
you said get rid of the mini golf.
No.
Or they-
That's what happened on the breakaways. They got rid of the mini golf. The Getaway, I believe.
Do you know
still
what they changed the mini golf with, or no idea?
There was no. I don't know. There was. I think they made it like just an open area. Like I don't recall exactly. I think it was just an open area because I remember they had like a big. I'm also trying not to get different cruises in my head confused here.
Because I mean, I always find it, not to get off on a cruise tangent, but I always find it interesting what, they put a cruise ship will have some type of entertainment. It will only last so many years, and then they switch it, to another one. It's interesting how long some of the things last.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure what they changed it to. I think it's just more of an open area for like seating and maybe like watching a big screen in the back. Maybe they show sports and stuff at night. But I think that's what it was. I'm not sure. But I'm really hoping there's no issues in dry dock where all of a sudden they go, sorry, we have to cancel the first sailing. Then what do we do? So I've never done that. Never anything close to that before. Where I know, but something's in dry dock and we're the first sailing out of it. So I've never experienced anything like that. So just really hoping that there's no issues.
On that note, hopefully next week I'll have the normal beginning back. And leave us a comment how many points you own if you're a DVC owner. And we'll see you next week.
I'm also kind of curious if you do decide to do that, and leave us a comment. Also, let us know. If you just purchased your one contract and like you've kept it this whole time, or if you purchased it and then you did add-ons later on. Because I bought my first contract and then 2 years later I did an add-on and I've been adding on since then. So let us know if you're a one contract person or if you've been adding on periodically over the years.
Plus, if you're a cruise person, let us know which cruises you've been on and how you rank them. For example, maybe you say 1 Disney, 2 Royal Caribbean, 3 NCL, 4 Carnival. Let us know your thoughts.
All right. Thanks so much for watching.